Born in Portland, Maine, to Donald and Nellie Ruth Pillsbury King, the spooky miracle that is Stephen King was ready to start the first chapter in his book of life. The King's family life wasn't considered to be the best dynamic. To be brutally honest, it was a horror movie in itself. Donald and Nellie divorced when Stephen was at a young age, which led to Stephen and David, his older brother, to be raised by his mother. Later on, they ended up moving back to Maine, for good this time. And it was also important for Stephen King's website to credit Nellie to work in a nearby residential facility for the mentally challenged called the Kitchens of Pineland. One of my all-time favorite horror book authors attended a grammar school in Durham. I'm guessing that school must be pretty popular and costs a pretty penny nowadays. Stephen used that newfound writing power in his school's weekly newspaper called The Maine Campus while attending the University of Maine. Stephen graduated with a degree in high school education with a bachelor in English. But honestly, what would you do if Stephen King was able to teach you about the English language while making it spooky? To be honest, I still laugh about this zombie literature class due to the fact that I wasn't expecting anything like this to be offered in college. Stephen doesn't just credit the University of Maine for giving him a degree, but also a wife. Tabitha Spruce was a student at the university and caught Stephen's attention. The attraction grew into a marriage in January of 1971. Tabitha must have really liked Stephen because finding a job wasn't easy for him at the start. They ended up pretty much living off earnings from an industrial laundry and a perk from a sale of a few short stories to Men's Magazine. The Kings now spend winters in Florida, and the rest of the time is spent in their Bangor or Central Lavelle homes. It's always nice to see people come up from a hard beginning to be successful. They don't just keep their money and hoard it either. It is said that they give out scholarships to locals and donate to charities. Stephen is also known for writing multiple books based in Maine. The Kings had 3 kids, Naomi Marie, Joe Hill, and Owen Phillip. Joe and Owen are both writers and have collaborated with their father. In 2017, King and his son Owen released the novel Sleeping Beauties that is set in a woman's prison. Joe has had the pleasure of collaborating with Stephen twice. The first in 2009, a novella called Throttle appeared in the anthology He is Legend, and the second being Tallgrass, published in 2 parts in Esquire during 2012. Stephen also has collaborated with other authors, saying he has always been motivated to collaborate as he is always interested in trying something new. It wasn't just authors that he enjoyed collaborating with. He enjoyed the authors of music as well. King had a big obsession with the Ramones, making it known through his references to them in his books, which we got a taste of while reading Pet Sematary. King let Dee Dee Ramone read Pet Sematary, thus the song Pet Sematary came to be the song title for the film and appeared on the album Brain Dead. So, many of these life events could have gotten Stephen thinking about horror. Anything from having a bad family life as a kid to listening to the punk rock genre could have had the influence. Some may ask what went on in his mind to write all of these books. I know I had many of those thoughts during the reading of Pet Sematary. Well, apparently it started at a young age of 4. He had gone off to play at a neighbor's house that was near a railroad line. He came back looking as white as a ghost about an hour after leaving. He would not speak for the rest of the day. It turned out that the kid he had been playing with had been ran over by a train while playing on or crossing the tracks. His mom never knew if he had been near him when it happened, but he had no memory of the incident at all only for having been told about some years after the fact. So, for a child who has experienced something like that, might have grown up understanding the dark parts of life a little better than most.